Alright everyone, the kind folks at the Clinton News Network have really stepped in at this time with their fake news. It's literally fake. It was their Wikileaks report that they've now apologized for. The funny thing is they're trying to cover up to as many of their fans as possible that it was fake. So they put it out on CNN communication. See, they know that the average person who pays attention to CNN does it online now and doesn't even watch cable, like especially the younger people. So if they're going to tweet it out, they'll put it on one of their secondary, like CNN communications. They won't put it out on the main CNN account. Oh yeah, we're sorry we lied to you. This is the second time that something involving WikiLeaks that they've completely lied about. The first time around, remember, in the wake of the DNC leaks, remember people, it's illegal for you to read these WikiLeaks releases, which is totally bullshit. It is 100% false. They got away with it too, absolutely openly lying to the whole public that was watching them. It's illegal, so you just let us read them. You let us tell you what's important in these and what you should think about them. Yeah, let us think for you peons because you're too small-minded is what CNN really wanted to say. And they've alluded to this, MSNBC did too. Oh, people should just believe what we tell them to believe. We're the arbiters of truth. We're the journalists of America, goddammit. You haven't told the truth in a hell of a long time. It's been a hell of a long time since there was real investigative journalism in this country. People are right to distrust you, and it's shit like this that really helps people like me make that clear. You should not trust CNN. By the way, don't trust Fox either just because they brand themselves as conservative. They say a few fluffy things about Trump. Fucking cares. They're controlled by the same groups, too. They all get money. It's an orgy of money from the same groups for these people. They're all controlled by the same globalists. They're not controlled U.S. only. They're not U.S. firms. They're just offshoots that operate in the U.S. of parent companies that are worldwide. You think they have any specific loyalty to us? No, of course not. There's a reason why Trump's waging war on them. By the way, this is a funny thing. I think going into the next year, the next act of Trump's presidency, and you might as well call them acts or scenes, really, because he's Shakespearean. He's very, very good at projecting and making illusions for ghosts for people to attack. So that he escapes unscathed. He's dancing around them right now. They don't even realize it. They still think he's dumb. No, he's not going to interrupt his enemies. They're making all sorts of mistakes, more than one. I think in the next act, you're going to see increasingly normalization because of even legacy media journalists. Because at some point, I'm seeing the first rumblings of it now. I'm seeing a few mainstream journalists saying, hey guys, you know, we might want to back off a little bit with the sensationalism and obvious bullshit because people are getting skittish about trusting us at all. We already have a trust problem. We've already got declining ratings overall. Basically, the only way for a cable firm right now to increase its ratings is to cannibalize another cable firm. Cable as a whole is shrinking. That means that the pond is getting smaller. It doesn't matter how much of that pond you control. It doesn't matter if CNN or Fox or MSNBC is on top. They think that's some great big thing. 10 years from now, there might not even be cable news anymore. 20 years from now, there almost certainly won't. There'll be one or two firms, maybe, that still bother to do that. They'll cater to a nostalgic audience of aging Gen Xers at that point, and boomers who are in the old folks' home. That's essentially going to be their audience. They're going to die off. Bye-bye cable. Bye cable. Thank goodness you're gone. Fuck television. One of the worst things that ever happened to this fucking world. Make people into couch potatoes. They don't even interact with the content. You can't make your own TV show. Okay, public access. That's controlled too. FCC will tell you what you can and cannot say there too. They're trying to do that on the net. Fuck them. Now, we need to resist them with all possible vigor. That's why we've got the Kilroy event coming up. Which, by the way, 100% of its total raised. Great job. Now, here's the thing. Mainstream journalists are starting to question whether it's a good idea because they're saying, hey, you know, I've got a sneaking suspicion that because Trump attacks the media constantly, when the media lies to people, it makes Trump look good by default. And Trump can softball like a couple of groups. Like, he's not going to attack Breitbart and Fox much. He'll go after, like, CNN and MSNBC. He'll pound them over and over again. So he's got, like, one propaganda network that's kind of on his side, and most of the alt media. And by the way, he's going to win over large segments of the alt media. Even those of us who are not biased and who are willing to criticize Trump when he actually does something shitty are going to continue to notice that it is lopsided in this fight and that Trump predominantly is far better than a group like CNN. He is lying less than a group like CNN, making fewer mistakes than a group like CNN. He is less harmful to this nation than the legacy media. I do believe that. The legacy media has led us into wars. It has covered up for the highest level of corruption over and over again. It doesn't matter whether it's a Democrat like Obama or a Republican like Bush. They cover for these people's asses over and over. Don't look into this report. We're not going to report on this. Now all of a sudden the internet explodes across the world. Social media takes hold and they're competing with people who have millions of fans and no overhead. And they're getting terrified. I'm glad that they're sweating. I hope that they have to take a pay cut. You know, instead of making $10 million a year, our main pundit only makes $9.5 million. You know, that's still, it's a great success in a very short period of time. Look what we've done to groups like CNN. They're so scared. Why do you think they run hit pieces on people like me? Why do you think they try to defame? Why do you think Right Wing Watch gets, you know, I'm sure, probably the command to write that one article about the alt-right, you know, the right wing on YouTube. I'll bet anything that the command came from some other group outside of Right Wing Watch. I don't think it came from RWW itself. I think it came from elsewhere. Because they've always been focused just on establishment politicians like Pat Robertson and stuff, which is funny, and that's the right thing to do. Should hold them accountable. Doesn't matter if they're on the right, so, you know, I'm not going to say that they're beyond reproach, because I'm not a right-winger. That's the funny part about the article. Yeah, maybe CNN contact them. Oh, yeah, we need some younger web-only hip group to make this piece, because if we make it, you know, we're basically going to get our asses handed to us, because people know that we're establishment. But people don't know that as much about you, because, you know, you've got a YouTube channel and a blog and stuff. So you handle it. Here's 10 grand. You know, that sort of stuff I'm sure happens. You know, disclaimer, this is only something that I'm speculating could be the case. I'm not alleging that specifically. But it could happen. You know, it's total bullshit. The legacy media is constantly lying to people, then wonders why it has a trust problem. Oh yeah, sorry about that Wikileaks report. It's totally wrong. You know, yeah, okay, what happened is that Don Trump did not break the law, did not do anything dubious. He was taking stuff that had already been leaked anyway, looking through it and, you know, basically talking about it and mentioning it. That's all he did. It was already public info. So how the fuck did he do anything wrong? They're saying, well, the Donald Trump campaign, Donald Trump's son was talking to Wikileaks and stuff. It's Russian collusion. It's funny, you never said Wikileaks was controlled by Russians when they were talking about what W was doing wrong. You know, at some point, they're going to leak stuff on Trump probably, too. Are you then suddenly going to give him a pass and love him again? And then the Republicans will do what they did under Bush, say, well, there's state secrets, it'll endanger the troops. Probably, because most of you, all the partisans are hypocrites. Doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. They think the letter after someone's name means this millionaire has an R after their name. That makes them better than that millionaire with a D after their name. Oh, this really rich old person with a D after the name is so much better than this rich old person with the R. Most of the time they're saying the same things. They have the same platforms. They have the same views. If you look back at an Obama speech from when he was a senator, it sounds like Donald Trump. If you look back at the 2012 era debates between Romney and Obama, if the transcript were read out by the same person, you would not be able to tell who was saying what unless they were identified by the moderator. You wouldn't have been able to tell which one was Obama, which one was Romney. The same is true of Obama and McCain on everything except bombing Iran. So what the hell's the point? People still want to give, like, Tucker Carlson a pass. Why? Why? It's just another rich pundit. He's controlled by the same people. Parent company is a globalist entity. It has a U.S. firm called Fox or CNN or whatever. They pay millions of dollars to people to read a script that is 50% lies of one sort or another. You know, outright lie, half-truth, lie by omission, spin and bias, deflection, something under this, something illogical, something dishonest. Why do we have a trust issue? When you've got legacy media journos coming out saying we might want to back off because it's starting to make Trump look honest by comparison. You know, you get the ABC report there that that dude got suspended for because they're like, whoops, I didn't vet the material. This was vetted and they still got it wrong. Molyneux, he puts out a tweet yesterday. CNN right now, and it's a picture of a dumpster fire. By the way, people are also posting dumpster fire images right now for Patreon. I'll be talking about that later as well. Yeah, and by the way, I'm on Maker support now. I'll be talking about that too. I'm going to revise all of my descriptions in my videos to be standardized, which means that the archive links are going to go away. and start on new videos at this point. I have to mass edit. I can't go through, what, 2,500 videos individually. It's not going to happen. So the legacy media is crashing and burning. Good riddance. It's good. Cable TV's dying. News radio's dying. Even like the on-demand sort of news content, it's still growing, but it's got a limited amount of growth left, whereas the internet can spread across half the world still. We're going to do just fine, I think. We've got to hold out. We've got to defend free speech on the internet as much as possible, and in fact, I think we should try to expand it even further. It shouldn't be, well, we're going to resist, negative change. It should be we need positive change. We need more freedom of expression, more free speech online. We need to make sure that other countries, that if they're working with a U.S. firm, the U.S. firm is going to obey U.S. law. It's not going to bend over backward for Angela Merkel saying, no, 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 you can't have this political opinion because it's offensive. Or some zealot nation, no, 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 you can't have blasphemy on your site because we have a stockholder here. No, it shouldn't be that way. We need to encourage U.S. firms to obey only U.S. law, and we should bring the full weight of our diplomacy to bear on any country whose companies or government are trying to influence what our sites do and do not do. Yeah, do. Yeah, CNN, though, it's not even really U.S. news. It's really not. It's just a globalist parent corporation. It doesn't really care who gets ahead and who doesn't, as long as it benefits the stockholders in the boardroom at CNN. They don't really care. So they're going to lie straight up to people. I'm willing to do that all the time. But they have been anyway. It's not like this is a new thing. The news lying to you didn't magically begin when Trump took office. I hope you realize that. And there are some people that pretend that the news was kind of honest before Trump. No, it's more dishonest now, yeah, but it was never honest before. I mean, let's face it. It was always propaganda. They could always be paid to write a hit piece. They could always be bribed. They could always be blackmailed in some way. It's always happened. That's about all. Peace out.